And we're going to get rested like that because we're going to hear some beautiful music this morning and some words of encouragement. And I'm so glad that all of you took the time to come. Thank you. And I want to also thank all of those that are taking part in our program today. So first on our program is Natasha, and she's going to sing for us His Eye is on the Sparrow, and she is accompanied by Sharon Rose. Thank you, Natasha. And if you were paying attention to the words, it should have filled your heart with happiness to know that the God that is watching even the birds, how much more is He watching over us? So feel that peace in your heart, knowing that God is watching over us. Now we're going to have a poem by Fairlawn. She's going to read to us On the Wings of Prayer.
I found this poem in a poem book in the library, and Pauline enlarged the words so I can see them. I hope I can get through this. On the Wings of Prayer. Just close your eyes and open your heart. For life on earth grows more involved with endless problems that can't be solved. But God only asks us to do our best, then He will take over and finish the rest. So when you are tired, discouraged, and blue, there's only one door that is open to you, and that is the door to the house of prayer. And you'll find God waiting to meet you there. And the house of prayer is no farther away than the spot where you kneel and pray. For the heart is the temple when God is there, and we place ourselves in His loving care. And He hears every prayer and answers each one when we pray in His name, Thy will be done. And the burden that seems too heavy to bear are lifted away on the wings of prayer.
I don't know how many of you have ever paid attention when we are having our regular devotions in the mornings, but sometimes Carol Davis stands in the background over there and whistles. So I wanted her to whistle for us today. She has a beautiful whistle. So today she's going to whistle for us. And now we're going to hear from Marty, Ellie, and Alan Lamb. And they're going to sing for us, Leaning on the Everlasting Arms, and they will be accompanied by Sharon Rose. While you were singing, I was imagining when you were all younger and your children were younger, that you would have the family stand up and sing at church. Am I right?
We sang in the car a lot.
Yeah.
The car is
Well,
the church.
It sounded beautiful, and we thank you for singing that for us. And there again, there's how heavy the burden, no matter how hard the road is that you're traveling, you can always find peace, and you can always find a joy in your heart if you lean on the everlasting arms of Jesus. JD,
Yes.
is she coming around? Okay. JD has 3 poems that she's going to do for us by Wayne K. Bullock.
The first one is called Top of the Heap. The little worm hung on the leaf and surveyed the world that lay beneath. And he thought, I'm king of all I see. I'm up so high they can't reach me. The sun-warmed leaves were sweet to taste, but not one bite did the little worm waste. And contented, full, he looked around, and he saw a bug down on the ground. As he looked, a frog came by and ate the bug in the flick of an eye. And the little worm laughed in wild glee. I'm a king up here, and they can't reach me. He watched as the snake ate the frog, and then curled contented up on the log. Then along came a hawk, swooped low, and the snake was gone. The little worm laughed and sang his song. Yet the worm, yes, the worm was king. He lived up high. And he grew to think as time went by that what he saw was caused by him. And the whole world ran from that one small limb. And so he thought one day, I'll higher go, so all can see me there and know that in all the world the king I'll be. I'll run this world, just wait and see. So he crawled, and he crawled so high that he could see the tops of all the other trees. And the leaves up there were sweeter yet. And he laughed and thought, I'll higher get. So he clung to a tip-top limb so high and watched a mighty storm go by. The lightning flashed without a pause, and the little worm howled, ooh, look what I can cause. The sun soon shone just because of him. And he made the night with the stars so dim. And he made the mountain high, he believed. And the mountain high he believed he made, even the tree which gave him shade. Then one day he chose to rest near the neat smooth edge of an oriole's nest. And the little birds there ignored him. They ignored the king of the limb. Then anger raged in the little worm's breast, and he vowed right there that he wouldn't rest until that nest of birds gave him respect, or he'd kick them out of the tree, by heck. So he stood up tall so that all could see, and he howled, you birds, take heed of me. And the little bird stretched out its neck, and the worm was gone in a single peck. So when you think that you're at the top of the heap, you better look before you leap. Take heed and think of the worm and the limb. Don't forget what happened to him.
Mike has just shown me that he has something he would like to contribute this morning also, so let's not hang him on this. Okay. There you go. You want to use the microphone.
Okay.
Let me raise it up. You're a little taller than I am.
Well, I'm only 5'3".
Yeah.
Still taller than she is.
Okay.
First, I want to say I really feel blessed to be here with all of you so much. And I want to say also that I kind of blocked Jesus from my heart for several years. And I recently let him in because he was always there for me. And I just want to read a little poem that I wrote that I experienced the other night, about a week ago, because my brother, I found after 2 years of searching, he has Parkinson's disease and he's in LA. And so, here's the poem. It's called A New Day. Many of us know sorrow and daily pain. So bad, it can make us want to refrain. And love is just a distant memory, and lust is only rust. I pray to Jesus to help me sleep when all I do is weep. Take me in your arms and rock me to sleep. In the dark, I see his light. My eyes so heavy, I feel so sedate. My Lord, my King, all from you, your holy might. Jesus, you're my sling, my awesome King. In our island village called Fairlawn, filled with birds, flowers, and beautiful song. No more alone, where hearts no longer need to turn to stone.
Thank you, Mike. We appreciate that. So glad that you all heard. And now Kathleen O'Kelly has a story for us on the song of Amazing Grace.
Researching some of the beautiful hymns that we sing. And many of them have beautiful stories behind them. And so Sharon Rose and I chose Amazing Grace. And I know that there was a movie not too long ago about Amazing Grace and a beautiful book that was written about it. So a lot of you may already know these things. And but I thought I would share some things that I found in doing more research about it. It was written in 1779 by an English poet and clergyman named John Newton. The words for him came from his life experience, partially. He was very rebellious and got into a lot of trouble as a young man and a child. So much so that he was involuntarily pressed into the Royal Navy. When he got done with his service in the Navy, he started up with the Atlantic slave trade. And for many years, he was involved in that until in 1748, one night, the ship that they were on was just battered terribly by an awful storm. And he just called out to God for mercy. And God heard him. And he said that was the moment of his conversion. He called all the sailors together to pray. And he began treating the slaves better. But he didn't stop slave trading for another 7 years. When he did stop, though, he went ahead and studied Christian theology. And he was he was ordained in the Church of England in 1964. No, I was graduated in 1964. He would be very old. 1764. And along with his pastoral duties, he also started writing hymns. The lyrics for Amazing Grace, which I didn't realize, besides being so vivid and beautifully, they sum up the Christian doctrine of divine grace and forgiveness for all of us. When Jesus said, I have come for the sinner, I mean, there is so much hope in that song. The lyrics were actually based on 1 Corinthians chapter 17, verse 16. And David the king came and sat before the Lord and said, Who am I, Lord? And what is my house that you should choose us? This hymn has brought words of hope and comfort to enslaved people and to people who are mourning and people who are crying out for help for 3 centuries. It has been played at the funerals of presidents and paupers. It has been estimated that this song is sung at least 10 million times a year by people who sing in choirs, in churches, or just in their home. During the 1800s, when the Cherokee Indians were taking their journey, which we call the Trail of Tears, 2,200 miles across 9 states, there were many times that they were unable to bury fully their dead, and thousands of them died because of the weather, because of the ground being frozen. And so at that time, all they could do was sing Amazing Grace. And since that time, the song Amazing Grace has become the unofficial national anthem for the Cherokee Nation.
Received a request this morning that we sing the Lord's Prayer, and that's page 426. You people want to try
Sharon,
it?
would you play that for us?
Okay.
426? That was it. Beautiful. That was a perfect ending to our program then. I hope that all of you will go and have a good day today, enjoy your lunch. And I want to say thank you again to all of those that took part in our program this morning. It truly added to our day, didn't it? Thank you so much for coming, and keep on smiling, because you never know what person out there is going to need that smile that you have to give. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything.